let's talk
Yeah.
about the psychedelic ETF here.
Oh, wow.
All-time lows. Give
Yeah.
me your give me your feelings.
So, so the psychedelic ETF, good call. So we had spoken about that a few times before, and funnily enough, I recall saying previously that, if I could short it, I would. And the reason I say that is, and I've always said it, is because so many of the so-called psychedelic companies, they're not really doing much of anything, and I guess that is slowly coming to the forefront. Um, and so the ETF down at, what's it at? What price?
660.
Right. So it's almost cut in half or whatever. I mean, it's it is where it is and probably going lower. And it's not, listen, we're in the industry. It's not something I want to see, but it's probably something that's a good thing because so many of those companies have zero behind them. And I mean zero. So it is what it is. We on the other hand, I've always said we've kept our head down. We've marched along, done all the research, do what we do. We had a great webinar the other day with our newly appointed Chief Innovation Officer, Dr. Riyad Domingo, an incredible PhD in medicine here in South Africa, awarded a fellowship at Harvard this year. I mean, the guy's a brilliant, brilliant guy. And those are the types of people that are on our team, and many more about to come aboard. And these are the people that we love to work with. Yeah, I mean, we don't, I've always said too, I mean, you look at so many of these so-called psychedelic companies, 80% of the money they spend is on promotion. They got ads and marketing gizmos. That's all they do is like they just promote. They're in every magazine and pulling out all these bullshit things all the time. It's like, oh my God. Like, investors can see through that, I hope.
Well, I
I
guess
hope they
they're
can.
starting to see through it, but it's crazy. I mean, still, obviously, I like to say Canada, you see a lot of, that sector constantly, in a lot of the kind of new sectors, and how quickly people are to pump out companies. I mean, you see a different psychedelic company every week, but it's incredible. I guess, they're still raising money, which is good for the sector. But
Right.
in talking about, psychedelics negatively, I got to ask, of course, we're talking about the sector coming down, but how does that impact M2Bio? And give me, hey, does it impact it at all? Do you guys care? Give me
So
the kind of overview.
I mean, it's never good when the sector gets beaten up, right? And it's definitely impacted our share price recently. So that's never a good thing. I guess the one upside, a little bit of the upside, is it probably gets rid of a few of the companies out there that just don't belong. I've always said, we would never participate in any of these online webinars that are out there, that are run by, comedians. And it's like a comedian is like a speaker. And I'm like, why is a comedian speaking about drug discovery and psychedelics, a real drug? Like, what is that? Like, if I was holding a heart cardiology conference, would I have a friggin' comedian talking, or would I have a waiter? Would I have an ex-cab driver from 2 weeks ago talking? Would I have, like, it doesn't make any sense. And when I saw all that stuff in the early days, like going back maybe 2.5 years ago, whatever, but when I started seeing all, I said, whoa, we want nothing to do with that. We're not going to associate ourselves with that. Let's, as I always say, keep our head down, just keep on working hard. And when it's our time, we'll get out there. And that's why we did have our first webinar last week. It was a brilliant presentation. The feedback we got from the scientific community was brilliant. And, it was great to hear that a lot of other PhDs and doctors praised the research and praised that we were actually conducting real science and research. And it was great. There are people that actually reached out to say they want to be part of the journey. And I'm not talking about this journey where we're going into the forest to get stoned. That's what the others talk about. I'm talking about the journey of drug discovery and what we're doing with artificial intelligence and machine learning, and how we're doing a bunch of really, really interesting work in that field. And that's what they want to be part of, is that journey, because I feel that a lot of these scientists in the space kind of caught on as well that, hey, I saw this happen in the cannabis space. I don't want to be a part of that. And so it's interesting. It's, So it did affect us from the share point of view. It hasn't affected us really in any other way. I mean, we continue to do what we do. We will have another webinar upcoming in about a month's time. Dr. Riyad will be talking a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, a lot more about something that is coming up that's very important. And there's lots of great stuff. And so for us, it hasn't stopped us from that standpoint. It never has, never will. But from the standpoint of the industry and bringing down share prices everywhere, it has definitely hurt. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I guess this kind of leads into, let's give people, it's been a while since we've talked about, M2Bio, a little update. Do you want to let
Yeah,
people know kind of where we are and maybe, hey, this is where we're hoping's coming down the pipe, or what people can expect in general
sure,
going over the
sure.
next couple months?
So in the psychedelic space, the video was just uploaded to YouTube, I think yesterday.
Mhm.
So anyone can go there and watch. That's in the M2Bio Sciences channel on YouTube, and you can go watch the webinar, which is great. Dr. Domingo did refer to a potential patent opportunity, and I'll say it again, that that's something that I did speak about a year and a half ago. So he's reiterating something there that we're doing in the chemistry side of psilocybin. He did speak about it in the webinar that nobody can patent psilocybin, but there's a different our approach, our different way of looking at what we should be looking to patent, and what we are currently doing is much different. And we do believe that that's going to lead to a big win for us. So that's great. We also have other great people joining on the psychedelic side, which is going to be amazing. On the cannabis side, we have a bunch of news coming up there as well, much more into the research. So remember, we have the CBD products, the retail products, the coffees, the teas, the chocolates, the honeys, the list goes on. It's great. It's awesome. I love all that. Those are products we make to support the research that we do. But we're about to announce a couple of very key players in the cannabis research space that will be also joining us. These are just like Dr. Domingo. These are brilliant people in that space. And these are people here. So these aren't like you do happen to, and these are hands-on people. So you happen to read a lot of press releases from a lot of these companies. They announce that, we're pleased to announce that Jason Coles has joined us as XYZ for the company. And it's like, well, where does Jason live? Oh, he lives in Iceland. We'll never see the guy, and we may have a Zoom with him once every 3 months. It's like, what's that guy really going to contribute? So the people that we work with here are people that we work with hands-on daily doing the work. There's a big difference.
Big difference.
I'm calling that out loud because you do read a lot of press releases. When I say you, I mean they're out there, and you can read through them pretty clearly. When you see that XYZ company has hired, Mr. XYZ from XYZ, it's like, well, I don't understand how that guy's going to contribute. It's 9,000 miles away. So anyway, on the cannabis side, we're doing a ton of great research, and on the psilocybin side, a ton of great stuff. And it gets more and more exciting for the company all the time. It's been an incredible journey for us, and we're only in the early stages, and you're going to see a lot more. To attract talent like Dr. Domingo to the team, and also another big area for us that I rarely talk about because we're not quite ready to talk about, of course, is our blockchain and our 3D printing divisions. But maybe we'll talk about those after. But just to finish my statement, to attract talent like Dr. Domingo, it's not easy. You've got to be persuasive in terms of what the vision of the company is and where we are heading and what we want to do, and the conviction of doing that. And so it was a great, for me, it was a great coup to get him on board. And of course, when he comes aboard, he then attracts a lot of talent. So it's going to be, a good snowball effect from here. It's just like anything. Once you get the first thing rolling, it tends to, have a snowball effect. And I feel that
effect for sure.
Yeah. And I feel that we're now, in that path. Just quickly on the blockchain thing, I can't really share much except for the fact that I do have a big meeting on the 8th, which is Friday. I do have a big update meeting on it. And it's actually not just an update meeting, it's our MVP. And I'm excited as hell to get in there and see the MVP, which is super, super cool. So it's it's all about show me, don't tell me, show me. And this will be the version 1 of the MVP. So super cool. If everything is, I'm sure we'll have some tweaks to make, but I think maybe in the next month or two, we will actually be releasing that first MVP. So that's super amazing. And then on the 3D printing side, Dr. Riyad Domingo, he spoke about in the webinar about 3D printing and precision drug and how we will be, so drug discovery and precision medicine, and how we'll be using 3D printing to manufacture just-in-time drugs. And that's where it's at. It all got to be, there is no one-size-fits-all in terms of medication. And if we're able to use the 3D print, not if we're able to, we are using it to print certain things at the moment that we plan to probably, I'll say probably, but patent some delivery methods. It's going to be very, very exciting. And that entails 3D printing.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure people's
Yeah.
imagination is going off. And
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting. When we announced that we were doing the 3D printing way back when with the surfboards, people asked me, well, what's that all about? And I explained to people, it's about the mycelium and the hemp, which is the business we're in, and how do we use that to build sustainable packaging for all the products that we make. I was really teed off at looking at all of our products and seeing so much plastic, and I thought, we can do better. So what we need to do is have an internal team, bunch of great material engineers from UCT, have them figure out how to do this. But I said, we need to give them a sandbox that's fun for them to play in. And what would that look like? Well, that would be the mycelium hemp surfboard, a fully 100% biodegradable surfboard, because one of the engineers is a top ranked surfer. So it all made sense. And it's the same thing with the 3D printing, with what we're doing now. All this stuff makes sense. I mean, think about it. It started with a little idea. Our boards will be ready in another month and a half, let's say. Started with a little idea. The first 10 boards will be up and working. And now we're telling the public we're going to be doing some incredible, we are doing some incredible stuff with 3D printing and medicine. So, this is super, super incredibly, merging of technology and medicine is crazy.
so I gotta ask, and I know I saw this question before, but I need to ask, how are these products performing? I know the last time we talked about it, I think you guys shipped a pretty big shipment to the UK, and no idea what happened
So,
since. So I guess now's a good time. Give me a
yeah.
little update on how those are doing.
So good question. Thank you. So it's going great, and it's always been the business model for us in terms of the food and beverage and everything is to take baby steps. So, and I say that because I want to make sure that we do have a premium product. It will never be on sale. Will never be found in the cheap stores where their sales, buy 10, get 2 free or whatever it is. We will never be a race to the bottom for price. That's not how we get out there to the market. We're all about a premium product always. Everything has to be the best, has to be organic, has to be the best quality of everything. I mean, we source and only use the best. Now, having said that, that definitely slows down in terms of where can we get out to market. So you mentioned the UK. We just shipped to Dubai last week. It arrived last Sunday. We have markets all around the world that we could ship to, but we're not ready. So the biggest thing you need to avoid is to get too excited and push the button and say, send 100 pallets to Toronto, let them go do whatever, and then you guys start putting it in Loblaws or whatever it is, and then a week later you say to me, I need 100 more pallets, and then we're already behind. It's like, oh shit, I can't deliver that. So you've got to be so conscious of, what's out there, what's coming in, make sure the delivery's on time, and supporting you guys. Well, when I say you, but the distributors, because if you start messing up that relationship, your whole supply chain craters. So for us, it's more important to have a perfected product over time that becomes a brand It's all about building a brand. It's not about building a product that's cheap and that everyone can afford to buy and delivers nothing. This is all about building an incredible product with the Dr. Anna line, the Medspresso line, the Liviana. I mean, if you look at all these lines, they're nothing but the very best. Liviana is the award-winning olive oil from South Africa. Our coffees are the African, Tanzanian tea berry, always rated number 1, 2, 3 coffee in the world every year. It is one of the most expensive coffees to buy. And that's what we use. So we use it though because it's so damn good. We want our customers to have damn good coffee. So we're passionate about all that. The honey that we buy, everything has to be nothing but the very, very best. By the way, honey, by the way, is about 70% of all the honey in the market is fake, adulterated with all sorts of crap. Same thing with olive oil. And that's why we're in this business, is to deliver nothing but the great products. So it's a fascinating, that retail side is amazing. Michael, who's the CEO running that whole division, is doing an amazing job. I manage it from a 30,000-foot view. He's the micro guy and in there every day with the sleeves rolled up and doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, love it. Well, hey, that's a pretty awesome update, and I think
Yeah.
everyone would agree. Pretty good strategy. Hearing the, you don't want to burn any bridges with distributors, and get it to a great level, and